Hi, Katie.
Hi, Isaac. Hi, friends.
Great to see you. So, just a little background. I was just sharing with Celine. I'm not sure why I chose for you to be the very first artist in my 30-day challenge, but you were. And that was basically because she was one of the first people that I met and really liked upon meeting in New York. I was working as the company manager and Betty White as Rosen Island in the Golden Girls. Clearly,
Love
like
it.
a career-defining show. And she had come to that as anybody that came was with a big fan of the Golden Girls. I hadn't even watched it until I had to do research for the show. But we talked after the show, mainly because I thought you were pretty, I think. But
Oh,
I'm guilty of
thanks.
that. Straight guy right here. It's not my fault. But and then I ran into you not quite a year later, I think, when you just happened to come into my side gig at National Geographic Encounter and had been given a great tour by one of our great tour guides. And I talked to you there in the upper lobby for a little while. Gave you a hug. You probably thought, why is this guy I met one time hugging me?
No, we've been following each other on Instagram and like just supporting what we all do. So
Yeah,
it's so awesome to see you like in real life. Like, whoa, you're a real person and not just like this little bit on my phone.
yeah.
So it's great to, you know, mesh those two together.
One of the things that we shared also is that you are from DC,
Yeah.
and I had been in DC quite a bit because of my past in burlesque, and I did a lot of burlesque work down there.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so you may not know the performers, but you probably would know some of the venues that we performed at, like Phase One, which had a tiny little stage in their bar. Um, and then there was, what was it called? It's now called Black Cat, but it was called something else before. Red Palace.
No, there was the Red Palace and the Black Cat.
Oh,
No. Black Cat is on 14th Street. Um, it's the red and the black, and the Red Palace, and they merged to this thing on 14th Street or onto H Street to be like this, just mecca of just craziness. But yes, I know that place and Phase One down in Easter Market. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was the DC Girly Show. They were headed by some proud lesbian women that were just more than happy to have an out of town troupe come
Oh,
perform with
cool.
them. But then later, I just did a bunch of TV shows and stuff down there. But unfortunately for them, Discovery moved to New York, so they have one less venue.
Right. That's where like my connections with HGTV and like these my friends were like working on these weird shows. We're like, Katie, pick up this thing and act like you need this device. And I'm like, do I get to play cello on TV? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I'm like, okay. I love the cell stick. So I have a lot of friends that work in TV, and they're still doing a lot of work down there, which is really great. Even though Discovery had moved, but they're still there doing editing a lot of reality television. Like one of my really good friends, he's an author and you know really passionate about like horror movies and like directing films and that kind of thing. But his main job is cutting together swamp people. And I'm like, whatever pays the bills, my man. Like, but he gets to like edit swamp people and then go and shoot like the grimiest horror film, but that looks like so like professional level, like amazing. So yeah, so there's some creative things still happening in our nation's capital.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. Like when I lived in San Diego, it's a very conservative town, and you wouldn't know that because it's a very vacation mentality.
Right. The
But
military.
yes, exactly. Every branch is there, and
Mm-hmm.
but that's why Hillcrest is such a. I don't know if you're familiar with San Diego, but that's why the gay town Hillcrest is so thriving, and the outskirts of it because people need to be creative, and there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I went to school in San Francisco and it's like anything goes in San Francisco.
That's where
Anything.
Joshua is based right now, by the way.
Oh, no way. Hello. I haven't been there in so long. So, but I miss it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
gotta go back.
technically, I'm across the bridge. was in Sausalito, where I met my wife. And we just moved. Yesterday was our 3-year wedding anniversary. And
Congrats.
the month before, like 2-3 weeks before, actually, we flew to Hawaii to get married. We were packing up all of our shit from Sausalito and moving to our home, our house now in Mill Valley, which is like 2 exits up from the Golden Gate Bridge.
Beautiful.
But, yeah, still very much a, you know, Bay Area boy. Unfortunately, like I've now been here longer than I was in San Diego. So, but California through and through.
I like it. That's awesome. Very cool.
Sorry. Muted myself there.
It's all right.
Sorry, my mechanic just called me telling me the stuff about the car, so I got distracted for a moment.
So Celine was very excited to talk to you because Celine is a professional
Yes.
freelancer. You have a lot in common. So Katie, this is Celine. Celine, this is Katie.
Hi, Celine.
Katie. Saying hello from Calgary, Canada.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thanks for joining us. I was going to ask you primarily how you decided on the long list of songs that you decided to do for your YouTube. Apparently there's more on Instagram, but I don't know how to IG. So I was on your YouTube channel and I was really curious about, did you have like people request different songs? Were you trying to get your own versions out? Because they're definitely yours. They're not a cut and paste thing that you're doing. So tell me.
Right. No, it's it all started just out of necessity. It was like, I need to work, and what was happening, I was just getting a lot of weddings. So couples would ask, and there's a lot of stuff written for solo cello, but like all those Vox suites and classical stuff. Mm-hmm. But they wanted, you know, some popular song. But I got to figure out way to play it on the solo cello. So I just rewrote all these couples' requests. So most of them are not my doing. Most of them just come from people that want to get married, and they're in like a field. So I don't really have like a lot of access to like looping machines, and that's still like very foreign to me. So I know that's a way to, you know, make yourself into like a one-man band with a looping machine. And I'm like, man, I'm not there yet. So I just kind of rewrote all of these different songs and just made this crazy collection of tunes of original. It's an original arrangement for solo cello.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to publish that original book. You're going to go and get the rights.
Oh my gosh. I've had some interest like of people wanting to play, and I'm like, I don't know how to go about that, like making sure the Beatles get their proper due.
I think a lot of it's just, you know, that you have to get some publishing rights. And I think it's more so, especially if you want to publish it, you're actually written.
Yeah.
It being, yeah.
Because it is all, well, most of it is written out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I could just take a piano score of like the piano vocal, whatever, and just kind of play the melody and throw in the chords, throw the notes of the chords here and there when they fit in my hand. But yeah, it's all of the universe telling me, you got to play this song on this day. And then I make a YouTube clip so the bride and groom can kind of like, oh yeah, I like that, or no, I don't like that. Can it be slower? Can it be faster? Just so they have an idea of what it's going to sound like, because it doesn't exist. There isn't a YouTube version of solo cello playing Come and Get Your Love. Like, that's not, so I have to make it. And I'm happy to do it, because I would have never in a million years thought of, I'm going to play Come and Get Your Love on the solo cello by myself. That's what I'm going to do. I have to have somebody like tell me to do it. Not tell me, but
cool.
Like, yeah, okay. Got it. I'll work on that. That was the first. Was it Tool? Yeah, I want to say the Tool was like the first album I bought like myself.
Nice.
I don't know what I don't know. I wish I still had it.
Huge fan.
Cool. Okay. Cool.
In fact, despite, you know, the 60,000 people that have died, that's my, like, and all the millions of people out of work, it's my largest regret is that the fucking concert that they were finally going to play, the Chase Center in San Francisco, got canceled. I was like, damn it! Brand new, like, premier venue. But fortunately, I did see them. I got my wife tickets for Christmas and took her to her first show. It was like my 13th or 14th show, and it was awesome. So sorry for the jest, but I hadn't seen them in how long? I mean, no new music in 14 years, and and they played like 3 new tracks.
You know, Katie, you were describing your what you're offering and trying to get clips with the bride and groom, and it made me think about how you've done a really good job at you know, I hate to use these terms because I resent them, but at branding yourself on Instagram. And you do this thing, which I think I'm coining the term now, and I want all kinds of revenue to come my way from this term. Cello shots.
Or the cello photo bombs.
I expect lots of money from this now.
Of course, yes, you are 10% for sure.
So, but she takes photos of herself, like with like
here, and then like the phone is like, if I'm taking a picture of I just think it's funny because the cello is big, and it's always in the way. And if I want to take a picture of the bride and groom getting married, even though when you see me do it, it's very unnatural, like because I would never be sitting like that taking a picture. But yeah.
No, you have something that, like, you know, my Instagram is I'm to a fault probably not shallow. Like there's a little bit of surface that's probably good for a human being, but but with my Instagram, it's more of a journal, and so it's not aesthetically like you don't look at it and go, oh, that's pretty. You have to look at it and read it. But what you're offering is something that's interesting, that like people that want to get a glimpse into the world of a professional musician in New York. What is this interesting picture, and what's going on in the background? Like you have something that's inviting.
Thank you. But I just think it's funny because the cello is always in the way, all the time. It's big. And I'm sure Celine I don't know how you guys do it with those drums and setting that equipment up and then breaking it down and then taking it to another spot every day. And the kids on the train, I don't know how they do it. Yes, exactly. You've got to. I just have one big instrument that's just kind of clunky and gets in the way. But yeah, so it's funny. Ever since I moved to New York, I don't know what it is. Like, not like brands have been reaching out to me, like nothing like that. But I just have this joke amongst my friends in DC, like, yes, I'm an influencer now. I got free sunglasses this one time that I hated. Even a bad review. But yeah, Instagram has been a funny little place. So just gotta post, and I just gotta tell myself to post more and more and more. But there's not a lot to post right now. Just me sitting in this room every day.
This is a good question for you. So what is it that you are working on now? What is it that being kind of stuck at home, has it been something that's giving you more creativity? Is it something that's sucking your creativity? Is it something that's giving you time to do projects that you wouldn't normally have had time for?
It's been interesting. Like, I joined this, I joined this Facebook group about just recording, and people have been reaching out to me about making recordings and YouTube videos. And so I've kind of, what I would have never done normally is like made like this little mini recording studio here with like a good mic and like decent software, which I would have never done normally. So I've done like a couple of tracks, gotten paid for it, which is like crazy. I would have never thought. Usually I would just pass it on to somebody else, like so-and-so has a really good setup or can record. I'm just in my house. But now I have this capability of recording quality music with decent software, decent microphone, and sending it out to France to make a video, back up in New York.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's so learning this new technology and what I can do with it, and seeing what they do with my recordings and stuff. So that's been amazing. I'm
Dare I
making.
ask what you're using?
I'm using a little Samsung on the go like condenser mic and Reaper.
Okay, I've heard about Reaper. I've never used it. But...
Yeah, they're doing like a free thing because of coronavirus, so you can use it for free for a while. And I haven't gotten any complaints yet. Everyone says that they like it, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. So, but yeah, it's great. I have like a PC, so I'm not a Mac person. So Reaper has been the go-to. Do you guys are GarageBand folks?
Yeah, you're gonna have to leave. I'm a Mac person.
Okay.
Person.
Got it.
It's okay.
So, okay, cool. This was like, so I just have a computer so I could send email. Like, that's all I needed to do. And I'm making videos like on my phone. Like every YouTube video is just my phone on the stand, and I play the music, and that's it. But now it's like I have a decent mic and all this stuff. Yeah. So for all of your listeners out there, Reaper is good. It's decent. You will not, they will still pay you and give you money.
Is it like, so forgive me in my ignorance, but is Reaper like, is it like SoundCloud, or is it a recording platform, or
yes.
a venue for putting music out there for fellow independent artists, etc.? Or
well, it's just like recording software. Like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So instead of
So it works with either Mac or Droid or phone or a tablet or PC. It's just a third-party operating or third-party recording, like mixer. You can adjust volumes of.
Exactly. Reverb. Exactly.
But all the input comes directly from just the mic that's on your phone or your laptop, or you can input, via USB, etc., other mics and input devices.
Yes. So I've been using my little Samsung Click on the go mic, a little tiny thing. I feel like I have to get like super close to it, but it's been working. And most of I have like a big, beautiful blue Yeti microphone that's back up I'm in Maryland right now, my parents. So that's a crazy story. But okay. I do, so it's like, what it was explained to me, like, it's like the GarageBand for the PC people. So
okay.
Reaper.
All right.
Check it out. If you're not a Mac person.
I have a MacBook only for my business now. Otherwise, I'm totally a PC Android guy because, fuck Apple. But,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I have my Amazon tablet to read music on, and it's the best thing ever instead of an iPad. But I have to call it a tablet because it's so my students think I'm a complete nerd. But
yes, we have the Galaxy S10.
I love it. I'm sorry. I love it. It could be bigger, but for me to not have to carry around like stacks of music, that's great. I could just carry this. It has like everything ever written.
Interestingly, so as a segue, I'm sorry, this is your time, and I don't want to interrupt, but it's that is one thing I have noticed in the last couple of years. Well, when people still were congregating, in mass. Is that I would go to piano bars and various parties. My friend Paige throws the best parties, and she's got a baby grand in her living room, and she always hires somebody to come and play it. But every one of them usually now comes with a tablet or whatever, MacBook Air or doesn't matter, the operating system, and they all just all the sheet music for like every effing song that you can imagine is right there at your fingertips. Right. And I'm seeing it more and more now. It's like, holy shit, we're living in like Star Trek future, like where it's like, computer, tell me what's oh shit, I just forgot that's my Amazon Echo. Wait for it. Go back to sleep. But it's very fascinating because it used to be, like, oh, I don't have the music for that. Now it's like, yes, you do. And
you have no excuse, right? You want to hear some crazy version of whatever song,
right?
And we got it. And then also I teach too. So you don't have your music, beep, boop, boop, bop. Here it is.
Now you do. There you go.
Come on, Timmy. You're going to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
So, Katie, we're talking about COVID-19 here. You're down in Maryland.
Yes.
So did you just get out of Dodge as soon as this all went down?
Not at all. I was scheduled to play. So my pianist friend, who I love dearly, lives in Baltimore, and we were scheduled to like be on this riverboat cruise for the last like week of March. So I was gonna drive. So my whole thing was I was gonna drive down, and I get my cello like serviced in Baltimore, so like my people are there. So I'm gonna come down to Baltimore. I'm gonna, get my bow rehaired, do all this fabulous stuff to my instrument, make it all pretty, ready to go. We're gonna practice before we get on the cruise. And then I'm driving down, and the whole thing is canceled. The whole cruise is canceled. Everything and it kind of worked out that we're gonna get to go on our cruise because we had chartered it like with our friends, so we get to play for our friends. But then we're going to do it again, and then we're going to do it again in 2022 or 23, but we'll be part of, like, their brochure. But anyway.
I don't know that I'll ever get on a cruise again. Ever.
Yeah, this is one of those riverboat cruises. So it's only, like, 80, like, rooms. Okay. So it's not, like, one of those crazy ones. We're just like, I've never been on a cruise, ever. So it's I was very excited to, like, be with my friends, play music, and, like, as we're traveling down, like, the Danube, play,
awesome.
Play whatever Hungarian music and Bartok, and then we go to Vienna and we play Mozart, and also this is Beethoven's 250th birthday. Yeah. So Europe is going nuts playing Beethoven. Well,
my God.
Maybe they were, but oh my gosh, it's such a big deal right now. So, but as I'm driving down, I'm like,
maybe I said I'd never get on a cruise again, much to my wife's chagrin, and now she's going, actually, maybe that was a good idea. Because, it's like, I spent 4 years at sea. I'm good.
You got it.
It's like, it's a completely different vibe. There's pools and casinos, and I'm like, yeah, but there's all that shit on land, too. And I don't have to be around a bunch of sick people.
Well, sadly,
oh, my gosh.
Because we're only doing 30 minutes, I feel like this is the second interview we've done where I feel like we could have kept talking for another 30 minutes.
Yes!
Getting into a swing of things. So we're going to have to end it. But I did want to share with you about, that I also had a gig canceled that was supposed to be in Maryland, also a gala thing. So I feel for you, because part of the reason you do what you do and I do what I do is because we're getting life experiences out of living our passion. Mm-hmm. And, there's nothing you can replace that with. Like, no 9 to 5 is, even though it might give you better consistent money, it's not going to give you those lifetime experiences. So,
right.
Yeah. So how long have you been playing?
I picked up a cello for the first time in 6th grade. So that's kind of late in the, like, since they start Suzuki kids at 3 years old. But 6th grade, and then took my first, like, private lesson in high school. So it's kind of a late bloomer. It's very, very rebellious, I want to say, to my parents, like, no, you should be like a jock and get a scholarship to play lacrosse. Because that's what everybody does in Maryland. They don't play cello. But here I am. Here we are so many years later.
And that brings up like 4 other things I'd like to ask you, but I can't. So,
that's all right.
Well,
anyway, so
just real quick, can I ask a question? Sorry.
You got to wrap it up, though.
Okay. Who are your top 3 inspirational cellists that, like, people that got you interested in the music and the instrument? If you could, just real quick, because I know we have to wrap.
Yeah, I love Jackie Dupre, Yo-Yo Ma. If you can ever get a drink with him, do it. He is a cuckoo bird, but he's so amazing at his instrument. But he's just like a cuckoo dude. And then one of the best ever live performances of any genre of anything I've ever seen ever was Norman Fisher. It was like he was playing the cello, and then stood up and just started singing. And this was at San Francisco Conservatory, and I'm like, I was blown away of like what the cello could do. So those three people, yeah. Get a drink with Yo-Yo Ma.
Well, thank you for that. Oh, I'd love to. Trust me, he's definitely up there. But I have a feeling you're going to become one of my favorites soon.
Oh, thank you. You guys are great.
Yeah,
This
thank
is
you
so
much,
fun.
Katie.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anytime. All right.
Bye.
Have a fun quarantine. See you guys soon.
Yeah.